This world is doomed, because of sin, and you know this to be true. You sin. There are things that you do that you know you shouldn't, and there are things that you don't do that you know that you should. Because God has revealed to us in His Word what to do and not do. And we want to be better at this whole Christian thing, but we fail time and time again. And of course, the world is going to hell, quite literally, right? So many in our world are thumbing their nose at God or using another finger. The truth of God and His Word have been thrown out of our schools, out of our government, out of our society and culture. I came to the realization a week or two ago that what was is never going to be again. Our world has changed in our lifetimes. What we felt was good when we were younger is gone. What we felt was right when we were younger is gone. Pride of country, love of family, respect for authority, importance of religion and faith, all gone. And that world is never going to come back, not like it was. But this is nothing new. I'm sure that the disciples commiserated on the day after Jesus died and wished things could go back to the way they were before Palm Sunday, back to the heady days of loaves and fishes for thousands, life to the dead, sight to the blind, the magnificent teaching of Jesus, the love of the Master for all people. That Saturday, it was all gone, dead and buried in the garden tomb. And we can relate. We want our world, our life to go back to the way it used to be before 9/11, when you could show up at the airport a half hour or so before your flight leaves and walk right from the parking lot to the gate and get on a plane to a sunny destination and within a half hour. We want to go back to a world where there were no mentally ill people entering schools with weapons, when going to school was as safe as going to the park or the store. We want a world where we can walk down Wabash or State Street and not be afraid that this could be our last walk. When we could go to a night game at Wrigley or the Rate and not worry about the walk back to the car. But we can't go back. That world doesn't exist anymore. Time has marched on. Now, we could debate why it changed. We could point fingers at this party or that politician, and maybe we should. But for now, we have to realize that we can't go back. We can't live in the past any more than the disciples could live in the past of water changed into wine and Jesus calming storms. We live now, in the present, in a present that Jesus is presented to us as alive, and that makes all the difference. We live in a world where death has been defeated. We live in a world where Jesus, who died on the cross, forgives our sins and now lives to give us new life. We live in a world where Jesus is to be exalted as the one who brings life. We present Jesus as the one who was born to be our substitute, lived perfectly to be our righteousness by faith, died on the cross to forgive all our sins, and to forgive all of their sins, rose from the grave so that we too would rise from the grave one day, and ascended into heaven with the promise to take all believers in Him, all followers of Jesus, to live in paradise forever. We live in a world where the promise of Jesus still stands. Behold, I am making all things new. This world is doomed, but there will be for us a new heaven and a new earth, because Jesus is alive.